Hej hej hej, det är jag igen, Sebelicious playing the Spooky Scary Investigator Game. Spooky Scary Investigator Game. Det var ett tag sedan jag spelade här, typ en halv dag sedan, nej kanske mer en dag. Ja. Och jag har inte lite tid att spela igen. Och det är en vacker dag i spelet och det är en vacker dag i verkligheten. Inga skräcksaker, jag kan bara köra.
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Alltså hon sitter så... Det är som att hon har gjort någonting dåligt. Ja, hon är ganska söt. Vad var vi? Just det, vi hade precis flytt från ett asylum. En sån dårhus i alla fall. Där alla blir helt galna och sådär. Vi var inte galna, vi var bara alkoholister. Så att det är lugnt. Vi förtjänar att finnas i samhället. Och vi ska utreda ett mysterium. Vi börjar med dig, Bradley. För du dog ju.
How's a fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
Han dog i förra episodet.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Jag kan inte säga den.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Har vi det?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital. And called on Marie's help to get you released.
Jag tänkte att han tycker
Remember
det
the
är
events
konstigt.
of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Det tyckte jag var lite för snabbt faktiskt att han gav upp det. Hold to test psychologically. Psychologically.
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Tror vi inte klarar den där.
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
Det är skönt den polisen faktiskt. Han är god.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins. Subject...
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear. Do you wish to know anything else?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement. What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr.
They called him the Shambler.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you...
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living...
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr.
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art
Irene är ett
collector, you
fint
say?
namn.
That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Då måste jag välja någon här. Jag tycker att varför berätta för henne? Jag är inte så god faktiskt som Mr. Bradley. Men jag vill ändå hålla kvar honom. Hoppas inte det påverkar.
You're right. Without a plausible...
That seems wise indeed.
Very well.
Oh, this
I'll
will
go to
affect
see
your destiny.
Francis's widow.
Ja men kom igen
Perhaps I'll
Bradley,
find
vi
a
är
link
bros!
between her husband's death
Bros before
and
hoes
Sarah
man!
Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Okej. Glömde jag kolla nu vad man hittar? Älskar ölkorv alltså.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
Det känns typ som att han måste berätta
However, before
sanningen.
we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into
Hon är så
her every
viktig.
time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Hennes art påminner om Darkest Dungeon.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
I expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir. I had long months to weep every tear in my body, and to accept, if not my fate, at least that of my husband.
True.
And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Jag funderar på att testa detta.
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Det där är rakt på sak faktiskt.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adore...
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about.
Oh
It's
shit.
exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you are so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Är det i detta huset? Jag antar det. Måste digga lite.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Ja, vad kan vi hitta här nu då? Samma piano som tidigare.
A house of artists. A house of artists. A house of artists.
Inte mycket till ledtrådar där alltså. Oh shit. Creepy AF. Vad vill de att jag ska hitta här? Är det så att jag inte har tillräckligt mycket skill? Vänta, där har vi en kopp te.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists.
A house of artists. Vänta, kan jag... Alltså, investigation leder till mer dialoger. Det är det som är så bra egentligen. Vad är det jag missar nu egentligen? Ingenting. Jag kanske egentligen har upptäckt allt jag kan här. Så kan det vara. Där!
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Var hon verkligen emot att
A
sälja?
house of artists.
Det är ingenting som egentligen sa det.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? He didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Så varför sålde hon den då? Blackmaila honom?
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Ja, det är inte kanske så smart det. Jag borde dock kolla vad knappen är för att kunna lära mig nya skill points. Keyboard, säkert ni får se det här. Diary access. Shoot. Okej, mouse wheel up och mouse wheel down. Jag har mitt light, det är bra att veta. Jag provar J och se om jag kan gå någonstans. Ja, där Pierce. Nu ska vi se, hur mycket points har jag? 12. Det är fett mycket alltså. De kan jag inte öka. Ska jag fixa med investigation? Nej, känns inte det. Det känns som att det är bra allrounded och sen ska man satsa på någonting som man känner att det här är viktigt liksom. Jag tycker om investigation. Det är... Vad gör egentligen sanity? Mental trauma. Sitter du som en sten då?
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Cool. Cool.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids. Each time I shut my eyes. I can't take anymore. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Ja. Bra. Låsta dörrar är oftast faktiskt bara skönt, om jag ska vara ärlig. Alltså det handlar om att explora så mycket som möjligt för att hitta typ mer points och sådär. Det är den spelaren som inte dör av enkla grejer liksom. Det här påminner om en skräckfilm. Just det här huset. röda tapeter. Eller vad man nu ska kalla det. Oh shit. Det är Cat. Läskiga än monster själva.
The strange Amerindian pendant.
Bella strömfångare. Ja, ockultist. Så jag fick ingenting, men... Aha, säkert. Den bara ökade procenten på den. The Whale and the God. A Brief History of Darkwater by Irvin Greenmouth. It is focused on the past glory of the island.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing. I could use one of those. An old diary.
This for the Spence motor. Han visste om att man kommer kunna få visions av allt som fanns på ön. Här var nyckeln till gallery säkert. Ja. Will you read the book? Oh, this will affect your destiny. Det betyder säkert om jag inte hade läst den så hade jag inte ens vetat om att det hade funnits. Jag hade inte tyckt spelet ens. Det är 2 monster som är runt ett timglas eller någonting. Och det är 2 sidor. Jag ska komma ihåg det där. Åh helvete. Vilken konstig jävla ljud alltså. Okej. Det är säkert den boken som doktorn läste. Okej, nu kör vi. Jag har också blivit vald av Cthulhu, min karaktär liksom. Så att jag funderar ju på att det här kanske inte är så bra för mig egentligen. Det är så coolt. Jag ska ha min lägenhet. Sacrifice of dagger. Han säger bara det betyder att man ska säkert kunna få den på något sätt. Neandertalare visste om Cthulhu. Säkert. Det är en gammal gud. Jag har spelat World of Warcraft ju. Och andra spel, ju se.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Pre-Columbian. Varför? Alltså att man kan gömma sig här säger rätt mycket om vad som kommer att hända här. Holy moly.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Holy shit, dude. Björn. Där är Chamber. Lamp oil. Rope. Bombs. Undrar om jag kan bara plocka på mig. Nej, det är bara att man fyller upp det. Japp. Okej, innan jag tar det här så måste jag nog pausa. Tjoffidopp!